Okay everybody, welcome back to another video here on Brotherhood Outdoors. I told you guys we're going to be posting back here again weekly thanks to my cousin Zadok. He's going to be doing all my video editing and filming and stuff like that, so it's going to help me be able to do more for you guys, so thanks again, man. So today we're going to be showing you start to finish a small bedding canopy area, and I'll go over like the elements that you want to surround this area with, but my buddy Jeshu and I are going to show you how to create a basic small bedding area and make it suitable for deer and desirable for deer. At least the deer that we hunt like this stuff, because there is, you know, not just social pressure from other deer, but houses and highways and people and all kinds of other stuff. So we're going to show you how to create a small bedding area in today's video. Okay, so here's the area we're going to show you how to make a small bedding area in, and this is pretty much an area that I already kind of cleaned it up a little bit because there's a down tree in here, there was a bunch of down limbs in here. It was pretty bad, and deer will bed in thick nasty stuff around a bunch of down stuff. It's not a big deal. They actually prefer having stuff surrounding them, but if you have too many down logs and trees and branches to where there's not a square inch of ground that's available to bed down without laying on sharp sticks and crap, a deer would rather not bed there if they don't have to. So we cleaned up a lot of this. There's an open area over there that I cleaned up, and then this area we still got to clean up a little bit. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make a tunnel that connects further down here, because we're going to make some more bedding area, and then we're going to connect a tunnel that goes down to the east to connect to another bedding area that we already have established. And the deer, did you not see how beat up it was? Yeah. They are just wrecking it, but you got to maintain this stuff, especially in dead spots of the woods like this, because stuff just drops so fast. If you don't maintain it, the deer will not be able to use it within a year or two, because it'll get so crowded with down stuff they won't even be able to get in there. So we're going to get to cleaning this up, getting some stuff moved out of here, and we're just going to kind of show you the process of how to create basically this area and to make it a desirable bedding location. Some things that we have going for us here is to the south, it is thick brush and cover where we normally come in. And so we're doing it down on the north side, up on the north side of this area. Right behind us here we have a river that crosses with an open field over the bank. Deer can have a nice visual point from here. And then also, the deer is going to have an extra exit strategy to go north, south, east, and west. So you don't want these deer to be, you don't want your woods to be too dense with no real exit strategies for your deer, because, for example, I was telling my buddy yesterday, I said if a buck beds down in a spot, and he beds there, let's say for the first couple times, and he, you know, doesn't get pressured, and then he has you, or let's say a coyote or whatever, sneak up on him, and he tries to jump up and bolt out of that bed, and his antlers get tangled up in vines and stuff like this, and there's no openings for him to run through safely, and then he gets pinned or almost pinned by a coyote or something. That deer is going to be like, I'm not bedding there again. That's not safe. I can't get out okay. And they're going to find a new desirable location to where they can get in and out. They can, you know, win the stuff that they need to win to be able to get out safely. They want to have a nice visual, but they also want to have plenty of cover to where, you know, they feel safe in the location that they are, so they don't think any other predators see them, and so that they don't see you when you're trying to sneak into your stands. So we're going to get to opening this up and getting it turned into a bedding area right now. So if you look here, my buddy's going to be clearing a trail while I work on this bedding spot, and we're connecting two different bedding points. You want them to be not too far apart, but you want to have enough cover in between to where if there's a deer bedded here and doe is bedded down there 75 yards, the deer aren't bumping each other out of the way, and they can be comfortably bedded here. So he's going to create a path that's just kind of like clearing it up because it's already thick as it is, but also including a couple hinge cuts that are going to be creating an edge and a funnel that kind of goes straight along this river here, this river bank, and it'll funnel them right into this bedding spot. But then of course in every bedding area, multiple exit strategies so the deer don't have to funnel through other bedding areas to go from point A to point B.
Okay, so basically what you want to do is you just want to clear cut your trail, and then Malachi will come through, pick the trees he wants to hinge over it or along it. And I know it's awfully big saw to be using just for little twigs, but it's what I've got. So anyways, we're going to continue doing this all the way through to the next bedding area, and we'll get back with you.
What we just created here is an exit strategy for a deer that's not pressured, taking their time. They want to walk through here without, you know, in the summer smacking their velvet, or, you know, even in the late season being able to bound out here without getting tangled up and smack the crap with branches. And again, deer will bed in dense areas, but if they can have a low pressure secluded area that's easy to use in and out, they will prefer that. Here we go. Now what this does, it's not even just about the overhead cover. At this point, what it's going to do too is create more sunlight to get around the bedding location, not in it, around it, to kind of hide it a little bit over time. So that's the main purpose of the hinge cuts for this specific application. So we're going to get to cleaning it up, and we'll probably just wait to get back to you when it's all complete.
A lot of ice falling from these things.
Good. You're good.
That's a canopy.
Yeah, that's nice.
If you get down under here and look up, this is gonna grow a bunch of little shoots off the sides, and it'll be a whole little canopy now. And it goes down that trail down to the other stuff.
Okay, so we pretty much finished up the bedding area over there that we were working on. A little example of what most of the bedding looks like that we do on this area of the property. So we're gonna go back over here and kind of show you where we're actually working on a second location now. That's about, what, 40 yards away maybe? 30, 40 yards away. Yeah. It's not that every deer is gonna use every single area, but it's that you at least give the deer options so they can take their pick and be the most comfortable. But let's go show you guys the final product of the first location. First thing you'll notice is, first off, the canopy. And he can stand over there and he'll show you the canopy that's over top of this whole area over here. This limb right here in the middle, I usually don't like stuff in the middle of the bedding areas, but this is actually supporting this hinge to make it stay up even sturdier, and it naturally just dropped into the dirt like that, so I just cut the top limbs off and just let it do its thing. This is a good, healthy hinge. Not all trees will make it, but the goal is the better hinge, the more meat you can leave on there, so to speak, the better chance it has to live through the winter and survive. And then if you see, I kept all the vines over top, and all I did was, you know, basically everything that was about 6 foot-ish, 5, 10, 6 foot area, cleaned it up. And the reason for that is, I've said many times, Buck's bedded down, he's got to jump and sprint out. You don't want him getting tangled up and stuff to where he doesn't feel safe and he feels like he can't make it out of there if he has to in a rush. So this area is done. Exit strategy. Remember, I always prefer to have 2 to 3 exits per area so the deer can feel comfortable and, you know that they have options to get up and bolt in any different direction they need to. Here's a south exit, there's a north exit, there's an east exit, and then there's a west exit over here. And then what we did over here to the north is there's a feeding field right here, and so what we created was, not only do we walk to our stands through this field edge sometimes, but oftentimes there'll be deer bedding over there, and there's certain stages of the year when you don't have to worry about, you know, the deer being able to see out there because it'll get so thick and green. But for example, this time of the year, and it is deer season still, but that's why we're only working in this little 3-acre patch of woods outside of the main big block of timber, because the deer still do use it like crazy. But anyways, they do bed here, and sometimes in this time of year you could have deer feeding in that field, and you could have deer in here as well. And for the most part, it's not usually a big deal, but for certain deer that are more sensitive to social pressure from other deer, you want to make sure that they feel as comfortable as possible. Like, they can't see the deer as well, and the other deer out there can't see them. They can smell them, it's not a huge deal. They just want that little bit of a break, certain deer. So anyways, here's this edge, and we kind of created a pretty thick edge here. And what that does is it creates more of a visual barrier and also a little bit of a windbreak just inside here. And this is thick, and not to mention, most of these should live. These are real thick, really good hinges. If you want to show them all these hinges over in here, I mean, most of these hinges are really nice. They're really gonna make it a really long time, I think. Some of them maybe not, but at least that's the hopes. And when this all greens up, for the most part, all these branches that aren't down in the dirt should still bloom and get leaves, and it'll definitely be a windbreak and a visual barrier for at least the first half of the season for us. So anyways, that's that. And then if you come over here, you'll see the trail that we made to connect this bedding area to the next. So here's this trail through here. We're not done with it yet, but this is pretty much how it's gonna stay, other than minor changes. Comes through here, And I always say a good rule of thumb is shoulder width or big enough for a buck with like a 16-inch spread. You know, I mean, that's a pretty nice deer around here. So then you got all this through here. We left all of this junk in between. Specifically, we did not clean that up because we wanted more of a visual barrier. So some stuff we leave intentionally and other stuff we cut up and get it out of the way. And then there's an exit right here to get off the path. Come through here. Again, tons of thick junk. We just left it, leave it there for a visual barrier. Here's an exit right here. These deer use like crazy. And if you see here, there's tracks. I mean, here's a track. I mean, there's tracks all over the place in here. And the deer do use this a lot. Here's another exit right here we created. And then all the way back over here is where our bedding areas start again. And this is mostly doe bedding in here. We have a lot of does that bed in here. Our bucks tend to bed higher up on the hillside. And, you know, good rule of thumb for bucks, high and dry is the way to go. But for the does, as long as it's not wet and it's not muddy and it's dry, in terms of high, low, it's not super crucial around here because sometimes you don't have any options for hundreds of acres. It's all kind of lower and more level ground like we have. And then it just connects through here off to more bedding areas that just kind of are all, you know, chain linked all the way through here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did like this video and this little tutorial, I guess you could say, leave a fat thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.